They lose Sean Couturier in that sequence as well over those 2 games.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce the actual injury, but it's a rib injury. And he'll be out 2 to 3 weeks, which basically is like 4 to 6 if you think about how this condensed schedule is. They're lucky to get these points early, fellas, but oh boy, losing the reigning Selke Trophy winner is... Injuries are that much worse now, aren't they, Alex?
They are. I want to try pronouncing this.
Okay.
Costochondral separation.
That
That's as
sounds
good
right.
as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
I believe that's the cartilage being separated from the bone. Is what
I think so.
Which 2 to 3 weeks,
That
my
sounds
dear
painful.
Lord. But you're a big fan of Voracek, Daniel.
I like him. I think he has. It's pretty funny. He's just one of those guys that for so long Columbus had these top picks that they were just rushing into the NHL, and then he ends up being one of them that just develops into an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I think back, like Nikita Filatov or Derek Brassard, those guys drafted in that same range.
I said Voracek, didn't I?
Yes.
I meant to say Couturier.
Okay, I'm like,
Sorry. No,
have I
that's on
talked
me.
about
Don't
Jake
apologize.
Voracek? Okay, I'm like,
That's
I'll go.
100% on me.
Okay.
Talk about both of them. The Flyers are so fun.
They are. Yeah, I love Sean Couturier. I'm a big fan of him. I picked him for the Selke trophy
Yes.
back then. When we didn't know how long this was gonna be, and we now look back on the before time when we could go out. And yeah, Sean Couturier, it's a big loss for the Flyers. I think they had that momentum, what they had last season, and they want to ingrain it this year. And a lot of things have kind of happened to that lineup already that I'm not really sure what they're kind of look like. If you have Voracek on the 4th line, are you going to rely on Giroux to kind of pick up the slack when now you don't have Couturier? Like, are you going to put Giroux back at center, or is Konecny going to be your top line center guy? And it's weird to see. Just one thing I like to comment on Jakub Voracek is Brian Burke talked about it yesterday with Dave Amber about, from the management perspective on players speaking out like that to media, what do you do? And Brian Burke had a very professional response to that.
Yes.
He said, I agree that you should be able to speak out, but just take out the profanity.
I think he also said that you can do it sparingly. Because
Yeah.
you want the beat reporters, especially your local ones, you want them on side. And I think it's definitely like back in the day, you lived and died by your beat reporter. It's nowadays it's much more watered down, but you want to keep them on side, right? Anything else either of you want to add on the Couturier front?
No, I just think it's it's a really big injury for them. Like, I think Travis Konecny, they've only played 2-3 games. I don't want to make too many judgments, but it looks like he's taken he's taken a step forward. He's still how old is he? He's not even 25, is he?
He's 23, I believe.
Right, like he's still young. So it's like he's with Couturier out. I guess this is kind of his time to really shine and prove himself. But it still is a big injury. Like Couturier won the Selke last year, right? So that's a pretty damn big loss.